welcome back to another episode of the Ginger and Honey Podcast. I'm your girl, Nick Valentine.
And I'm your girl, the Lioness.
So thank you for joining us. And the Lioness is going to introduce our guest today.
So today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Tanya, and she is the owner of Stretch ATL. Welcome to the show, Tanya.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes, it's our pleasure.
Thanks for being here.
Yes. So I met you through a previous guest.
Okay.
Jamila.
Yes.
We had Jamila and Isaac on the show.
Yes.
Jamila would post these fabulous videos of her doing Pilates. And I was like, it looks so graceful and beautiful. I want to learn how to do it. But then with all my ailments and aches and pains, I was thinking, I could never. And then one day I showed up and tried it and was shaking and all the things. And I was hooked ever since. Like literally the first visit, I was hooked.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your teaching and your guidance and instruction.
Because it is intimidating.
Yes.
People that do it well make it look easy.
They really do. They really get involved. They get heavy. They get challenged, and they just want more. It's crazy. They want more, and that's what keeps me on my toes. I mean, I've been doing it a long time, but the way that I stay on my toes is from students like yourself who come in, master that one step, and then I'm just constantly bringing you into the next step. So there's never a point where you're like, I'm a little bored. I don't want to do. It's never that. We always got something the first week, and we're doing something a little different each time. So no class is ever duplicated, but it is definitely a challenge.
To get that core tight.
That's right. It matters.
Yes,
Cores
matter.
Cores matter.
So tell us a little bit about your journey to this point.
Well, I am so happy to be here again. Thank you for having me. And I really enjoy sharing where I've started into where I am today and where I like to see myself going or where God plans to take me. I'm here for the ride. So I'm super excited. What I did was I am by trade a chiropractor. And I had a wonderful mentor as I was in school. She was an amazing teacher. She was an amazing chiropractor, and she was just a real overall good person. She actually, when I went to meet with her for the first time at her office, she showed me around. I was like, okay, it's just like a traditional chiropractic office, but it wasn't. It was the waiting room area, the area where you would get adjusted, and then there was this long room thereafter, which she actually did X-rays in the back of it. So it was, if you know anything about X-rays, you got to have lead walls. Right. So in this dungeon like area, it was lead walls, but it was also like 10 or 12 reformers in there, and I thought, what is this? What's going on in here? So she told me all about it. She actually insisted I stay and watch and participate that same day, and I was thinking, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm here for chiropractic. But hey, I'm here. I'm in. So, and this is like before I really realized how intelligent, how smart she was. This is before I learned more about her. So, but I was in for it. So I took my very first class with her. Among a lot of people that have been in there before and have been doing Pilates for a while, but I felt like I was somewhat athletic, but yet I had just had a baby too, so I had some issues with my low back and things like that, but I felt amazing after I took this class. I was just like, what's going, tell me more. I was just so intrigued by it. So she shared with me all of the things about Pilates and how she, again, when she gave me that mini tour of her office was super small. But again, this dungeon-like space was huge. And I'm thinking, why is her space to adjust so small? But it makes sense later because she sent all her patients to Pilates, and she rarely had to adjust them because Pilates got them
Nice.
aligned and kept them aligned as they would come in, 3 times a week. So that in itself kind of presented to me an idea of it has to be very good, because if she's not putting all her time into working and investing into chiropractic like she could have, this has got to be amazing,
Yeah.
And again, I tried it for the first time and I was like, yes,
Yes,
and
I love
it was great.
Yeah. How long has Pilates been around? Because I know it's become more popular now.
It's
and
been around
trendy.
a long time.
Yeah.
So basically, maybe the 1920s, I believe.
wow.
Joseph Pilates created this back in the 20s. He was a German, and he actually served prisoners of the war, injured prisoners of the war. So the Pilates was really born in the prison.
Wow.
So as it progressed, as he began to, and he did it, he taught Pilates on like a hospital style bed. So like the triangle that you would use to pull up with, that was kind of his thing that he pulled up and showed how the bed rails would be kind of the thing to help you build your core. And that was the ground foundation
Very
of things.
interesting.
Yes.
Wow. So the
Yeah.
science.
Oh yeah,
to
it was
it
science
all.
to
Yes,
it, and
yes.
he created that whole systematic way. He labeled it. He called it controlology initially, and then later just labeled it as Joseph Pilates. Now, what was interesting, I thought, was that all those years he practiced and taught, he never trademarked. He never trademarked it. So that's why you see people that says like Winsler Pilates or such and such Pilates, because you can use it. It's not trademarked.
okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
belong. And now that I'm way into it, I'm thinking, that might have been just his idea of thinking this way it won't limit people from
Yeah.
getting it. This
Yeah.
actually allows people to get it, teach it, learn it, and reproduce itself. And maybe that was a part of the reason why he labeled it his name versus controlology. It will always be attached to his name.
Right.
So as I think about it, I was like, that's kind of smart, because it never allowed his legacy to die.
Absolutely.
And not limiting it to, possibilities of trademark impingements and things like that.
Right.
So I, as I look at it in retrospect, I'm like, well, maybe he did that intentionally to keep his legacy going. So he had just a few people that he taught, and they kind of apprenticed under him. And one of his apprentices was, her name was Kathy Gant, and she learned all the things from him. She was an injured dancer. She was a ballerina. She was injured. She was a black lady. She was the only black lady that ever did any work with him, and she kind of organized it for him. She organized it and she brought it back to the world of New York, where Joseph eventually had a studio in New York as well. But Kathy started to help other dancers that were injured as she realized how that really impacted her in her career. And so she was out to help others. But again, when I learned about Pilates from my mentor, she never talked about Kathy Gant. And I don't think that it was intentional. I just think that it was just something that wasn't an emphasis. Wow, that was impactable to me to know that, but that didn't matter. It wasn't a big impact to her while she was a smart white lady. She had she blew it off or didn't ever mention it. It was the whole rabbit hole I had to go into later to discover that this black lady really brought it to the U.S. and really maneuvered and got into, because what happened is it was really was designed for men, because he was in a prison. He was in a men's prison. And so when Kathy Gant got a hold to it, she converted it to ballerinas and dancers and ladies. And that's why people think now that Pilates is for girls, but it was originally made for men.
That's interesting.
And so,
That's good to know. See,
yes.
Doing your research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Learning a lot about it.
Yeah, and even to see that a black woman was involved with it, with
Absolutely.
the creation, and now, it's becoming more popular in the black
for
community.
sure.
It wasn't always.
Right.
So why do you think, knowing that she had a strong impact in the development, that it took so long to reach us?
Well, think about it. If when we think about black ballerinas, we think of Copeland, right? But there wasn't a lot of room for us in the ballet area either in that era. So I think that was something that she was kind of designating herself to, making sure that, ballerinas, all colors, were able to get the rehab they needed and get into the space to dance and get into it but there was spaces that she wasn't able to get into as a dancer.
Right.
And think about the time. So
Yeah,
I think that the impact of that made her shift and kind of lean into helping people who were injured or wanted to pursue dancing, but yet had some issues and some concerns in that area. So so with all that I learned from my mentor, I discovered that there wasn't a lot of us exposed to it. And as I worked with my mentor over 2 years and never maybe saw one, but never really saw anybody that looked like me in there. So I was just really, really interested in really sharing that with the community that looks like me, because a lot of times we get caught up in, the aches and pains in our first, and we get desperate, especially when we're in pain and we've been in pain for so long. When the offering of take this surgery, you'll feel better, and we run up in it. We'll take it, and that doesn't always work that way, and it doesn't really always call for surgery. Even though, like I said, I'm an advocate for wellness. Surgery has its place. I'm not saying surgery is something I'm against. I'm saying surgery needs to be considered as a last resort. As a last resort.
Yeah,
so after trying everything, I think surgery then takes its place. But I think that our community wasn't offered everything because they weren't offered Pilates,
Right.
And so with that being said, a lot of things could rectify through Pilates, through stretching, through holistic work, and then making it where you could avoid surgery, which is your better space. If you can avoid surgery and get better, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's longevity.
Absolutely, absolutely. As
Fix of
stretching is as well.
medication
Stretching
and
has been designed or shown that longevity is proportional to stretching. So if you can get flexible, you can stretch, the long life you'll live outside of it. So just having that in mind too makes a big difference. Being independent, not having to count on anyone in their more senior days makes it a longevity situation too. So all of those things play a role in stretch and Pilates. And I was really, I chuckle inside because I wanted to be the Harriet Tubman of Pilates. I wanted to bring it to the people and say, hey, try this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a hard push. It really wasn't a hard push. It was something that a lot of us saw, but just never saw the opportunity to try. So it was
And
almost
not in
like
our community.
exactly
That's right.
not in our communities.
Wasn't available to
and
us.
we don't like to go places where they don't know our name. We don't like to go places we don't feel warm.
Yeah.
So in spaces like that, we might not have felt warm, or we might not have felt welcome. So it was an opportunity for those who had seen it to try it. Yes. As I brought it to the community, I brought it in with the idea of sharing it, just reaching out to anybody that looked like me, because I know that the women that look like me are hat wearers, multiple hat wearers. So I figure if I tackle that market, I can cover a lot of people. While the athletes, your more affluent athletes were very familiar with Pilates, and that's generally what pulled them over, because it's about core.
Right.
If they had a core stronger, they can outdo their competition. So I really know your Kobe Bryants, your Serena Williams, all those people have done Pilates. I've seen them in many articles showing them doing Pilates, but never, your average everyday person,
Right.
Never.
It looks like an exercise for the elite.
Exactly.
That's the way it presents.
Yeah.
And so it would keep us that may have limited resources, whether it's in your community or financial, it would seem like a huge barrier.
Absolutely.
And so,
and that was a part of the purpose too with me, with not just bringing it to community, but making it tangible, making it available, making it affordable. When I came into the community with it, I reduced the time. So most classes are about 45 minutes to an hour. I reduced the time to 30 minutes. And that way I can reduce the price. Okay. And then I was able to master bringing 30 minutes into a very it's a condensed moment, a condensed frame of time, but still get the benefits of Pilates inside of it. And I really just boosted up to an hour or 45 minutes probably a couple years ago. So I did that just so that it could be kind of a try it and see how it goes and see what you think kind of thing. So I was coming to the community ready to really serve with that in mind.
Thank you
awesome.
for entering our communities.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
here for it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to offer it. It's still a lot of spaces untouched. There's a lot of spaces just here in Atlanta. It's a plenty. It's become a plenty spaces. A lot of studios opening, which I'm very, very happy because I can't service all those people. So I'm very happy to see those spaces come available. But there's spaces outside of Atlanta that deserve this service too, that are being overlooked or just not being a focus. And so I think that's something, we see it on TV, we see it on social media, but it's still not available to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as the owner of Stretch ATL, you are being more accessible and expanding your brand, your business. And so, you now have 3 locations. Hey. She has the Metropolitan location, the Buckhead location, and now your newest addition is
Conyers, Georgia.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I can't
about
wait
Conyers.
to visit.
We're on our way. So Conyers is amazing. They have just opened and poured into the welcome bucket with me that I'm just so excited to be able to offer this to them. I know I never really spent much time in Conyers, but I'm noticing now that there aren't very many wellness options there.
Untapped territory.
Exactly. All the big boxes are there, but there's no, juice bar that's going to give you the fresh pressed juices, the type of things like what we offer, the Pilates, the wellness insight, and the wellness care that we offer. Nothing like that, but they want it. They want it. There's so many people that's come to the Unfinished Studio and said, "I'm stalking you." I'm like, "Okay, girl, we're here. So I'm excited to service them because it's nothing like having a group of people who are a community of people who really want something better. They really want to be proactive about their health versus reactive. After they get a diagnosis, now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how to manage this diagnosis and so on and so forth. And that's how you live your best life, by making sure that you are in that wellness space, that everything that you put in your body is going to be for the life of living, or is it going to be for death? You're going to eat right, you're going to exercise, you're going to get your sleep, you're going to get all the components that makes you a well person. And if you don't have the education to do so, which is what it is, the lack of the education to do so, then we'll perish. So I'm here to help. I want to be a vessel to Conyers or any other space that we enter into to be able to be that spot. We need to push past the McDonald's and push past the drive-thrus and push past, and really understand what it really means to go home and cook, or understand to read a label, or understand, how to purchase foods and things that's going to be beneficial. Absolutely. Even down to like gardening and things like that, which I feel like in Conyers, I don't think that's a big option. I mean, a big deal in terms of like knowing that, because they kind of give me that I'm from that type of space, but it's just today's day. They're really thirsty for the knowledge, and I'm here to give it.
Well, we love that, and we need people like you in our communities that are serving. We're coming
with a lot of collaborations, a lot of collabs that we use back in Atlanta, a lot of the spaces that are just in Atlanta. You know, the Barbie Jones, who is the juice therapist who helped all the Black women get rid of fibroids. She's in Atlanta. She only serves Atlanta, but she's already reached out to me and said, "Come on, I'm coming with you to Conyers."
Nice.
So, so we're gonna, because people in Conyers got fibroids too.
That's right.
And we need that. We need to help them. We need to help them.
Yeah. And speaking about that, fibroids and other symptoms that we have as women and menopause. All the things.
Oh, for sure. We did a
medication and all that.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel like Pilates complements or replaces some of these treatments?
Well, I think it complements more than anything. Okay. It does. It really leans into what Pilates is really powerful to be is a activity that really gives you body awareness. So spaces in your body that you just didn't know was going on, or you become more knowledgeable about the way you sit upright versus slouching. You notice things about your body that you may have not paid attention to before. It really turns on your light about your body. And that's important because you live in your body. So if you say, Tanya, come help me fix my kitchen sink. I don't know why it's stopped up. Well, I don't know what you put in there. So how can I help you with your sink? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How can I help you with your body? You live there. So you're supposed to go to the doctor and tell him what's wrong, not ask him what's wrong with you.
Right.
That's right.
You live in that body.
That's
And that's being that awareness.
Right. That's the awareness and the education and the wellness of the whole body. So that's the kind of components that I'm really to be the vessel to help the community with, help them understand that you stay in control of your body. It's your temple.
That's right.
You know?
I was having some issues with my voice at one point in time. And I had gone to the doctor. And we got it together. I needed some voice therapy from just overuse of working and using my voice constantly. But she said, "Oh, you're just a delicate flower." You notice like there's not really much. I see it, but it's not much going on. And so when you talk about knowing your body, there's so many things that we ignore because we don't have the awareness of like, this doesn't feel right. Or how long has this feeling been going on?
We have to pay attention to our check engine light.
That's right.
Our own check engine light. And so pain is one of those things. And we can put past pain. Ignoring pain is really taking a Tylenol and pushing it to the side to keep going. That's ignoring. That's like putting a piece of tape over your dash to hide your check engine light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. If I don't see it, it's not there.
Yeah.
So we have to pay attention to our bodies as we are changing into different eras in our lives. We're approaching different things. While there are so many women that are faced with polycystic things and polycystic ovaries, they're faced with a lot of fibroids, and especially in our community. Now we're in an era, the era of people in my era right now are facing perimenopause and menopause, and we've done a lot of conversations about that in the studio. We've had talks, we've had panel discussions, and we've had doctors come in, and we had a pelvic floor specialist come in to tell us about pelvic floor action and what's going on there. Is Kegels really good for you? Kegels may be good for you, Nikki, but not good for you, T. It just depends on what's going on in your pelvic floor. Pilates is number one.
They were good for everybody.
Me too.
So if you have a pelvic floor that's tight and constricted, doing more Kegels is going to give it more tightness. But if you have a pelvic floor that's loose and needs strengthening up, then you need to do Kegels. So it just depends on where you are in your pelvic floor.
Gotcha.
Pilates is number one for strengthening the pelvic floor, but that's body awareness too.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So, and we've all had kids, so we don't really know where our pelvic floor is after that because we didn't get
Facts.
we didn't get the referral.
Where you at, pelvic floor?
That's right. Where you at? What you doing?
What level are we on today?
We didn't get the referral from our
floor.
doctors to go see a pelvic floor specialist after our pregnancies, after we delivered.
Yeah,
but
like it would not even knowing they exist.
There's a whole bunch of
women
women that do. A bunch of women that don't look like us get referred to pelvic floor specialists after having their baby.
Wow. The more you know.
So now, since we're on that topic, does it matter C-section versus natural birth?
No, because the pelvic floor is designed, it's the floor of your torso, per se. So it holds all your important pieces down there. So while the baby is there, it's weighted, it's all kinds of pressure, all kinds of changes has occurred during that window of time that you carried. So whether you had a C-section, whether you delivered vaginally, you got to get that pelvic floor back into shape afterwards. That's what leads to us coughing and leaking. That's not normal. That's not normal. Right. Yeah. That leads to incontinence in our later life and bowel incontinence and things like that. That's a part of the pelvic floor's job.
Well, I need to get my pelvic floor.
That's right. That's right. And I just,
Okay.
it's just something that we just don't know. But boy, isn't it important though?
Because
How
you
is
think
that?
incontinence is just going to happen as you age, you know, like that's a part of
After you have a baby and you
menopause
sneeze,
symptoms.
you're not supposed to
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
like,
supposed to
oh,
trickle.
so I can stop that from happening. Let me
Yes.
work on that.
Yes, there's a way. Go see a pelvic. We have a really good lady that looks like us. That's a pelvic floor specialist, and that's not normal.
Nice.
That's not a part of the norm.
Nice. So that's a service you offer.
It's
in your
a referral.
studios?
I can refer you to
Okay.
someone. Yeah, I can refer you to one.
So the basis or the background of the pelvic floor specialist is physical therapy. She's a physical therapist. Her specialty is pelvic floor.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the
Who'da
core,
thunk it?
Right?
a part of the core is the pelvic floor. So
Yes.
it does strengthen through Pilates, but just not knowing that, learning that. But these are the conversations we have in class all the time. We talk about this stuff, and we have panels, and we have people come in and talk to us, and we have pamphlets and things like that. While someone may ask the question, and it just leads on to a whole conversation in class.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's the benefit, you know, we want to put this information out there so we can, you know, share it amongst each other because it
Absolutely.
is so much we don't know, you know.
We don't know.
So even speaking about the pelvic floor, like what other conditions or issues, ailments that Pilates really seems to be the best treatment
Well,
for?
yeah, the definitely the pelvic floor, the core itself. A large percentage of women have diastasis recti after having a baby. That's the separation of the tissue at their abdominal. So it really gives this protrudingness, like you're still pregnant after you've had the baby, and it's measured by finger depth. So the doctor generally sticks, like say, so your 3 fingers separated or 2 fingers separated through Pilates. You can help close that up. Now it does require someone that knows, like a particular type of Pilates instructor who is knowledgeable to help you out. But most of the time, if they're trained properly, they can help you close that diastasis recti down, you know, from 3 fingers to 2 fingers to 1. But it is something that's definitely one of the best things for diastasis recti.
There are those who, you know, go get a tummy tuck and get that stitched together to hold it. They almost make it seem as though there is no natural way
Yes.
to close that.
That's what I've heard as well.
That once that's, you know,
So
kind of
it's
separated. that's
separation.
it.
It takes some time, but I have seen thousands of women come through Stretch ATL who come with that concern, with that issue, and they have to be addressed a little differently than the bigger population of the class. But yes, I've helped lots of women close that up.
Yeah.
Lots of women.
Wow.
Yeah. But if you think about it, that tissue kind of puts you in the mind of like nylons, like stockings. And when you have a ruin in the stocking, it's a space where it really is hard to get that same quality or the same integrity in that tissue again. So that's what it is. It's just that the same integrity is compromised. So you probably won't get the same results of having what it was originally like, but it is certainly able to close up.
Close it.
Oh, great. I know, too, going back to like surgical procedures versus the parts God gave us naturally. You know, I can speak to, I started having my knee issues that's not started. I've always had knee issues my whole life. However, they started to get really bad and flare up, unfortunately, during my stint with Pilates. And so Tanya came and we tried everything. We did cupping, we did scraping. We, you know, she really, really was influential in trying to avoid surgery. But by the time I got to you, I was down to like bone on bone. Ended up having surgery on the one knee. Actually, both knees. One was scraped and cleaned out, and I had a torn meniscus that was repaired, and then a partial knee replacement. I can speak to what one knee feels like better than the other, right? So having your natural parts maintained as long as you can definitely helps. It definitely helps. the artificial part feels better than the extremely damaged version, but as long as you can be on the front end of
those proactive
proactive,
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
it really makes a
really
big
does.
difference. And I want to say that because one knee was not as far gone as the other, I have been able to sustain, and I want to contribute that to all the help that you give. And just really, I mean, I got to a point where I purchased a reformer for Tanya and have one at home.
Yeah.
And I really, anybody who's aching and paining and looks tight, their back's hurting, like, I am such an advocate
Yeah.
because of everything that I learned from you about stretching and the importance of it, and core strength and all the things.
It makes a huge difference. So I'm close to Conyers, so I cannot wait
I'm excited.
to get into your studio.
Yes,
And even talking about your expansion, like you trying to scale, has that compromised in any way the integrity of like your mission and the work you do?
No,
trying to scale?
not at this point, because I'm really, for those who work in the studio, I've hand trained them. Like, I trained those instructors that are in the studio. I even have a guy that I trained. Yeah, so I'm really excited about him. And everybody just love him because he's
Diversified.
diversified. So, the compromise has not been in fact, but I know that that's really what I want to keep intact. I really want to keep intact that particular way that I train, the particular way that I like to see it done. And I know that everybody get into the space and they get it with their own time.
Yes.
And it does take time. So I know that I'm accelerated in front of so many people in this whole arena of Pilates, but I get that it does take time. It does take time for them to get the work, but they're amazing. I won't let them loose until I see that they've done the part and done the work to make it what it needs to be in a studio.
Being at the studio and my experiences, which were always fun, and talking about strength versus stretch versus Pilates, and we, right next to a very big gym with a lot of gym rats, work out hard, and every day big buff swole, they saunter on into your studio looking for some relief because they're limping from where they are.
Right. Working out 3 hours a day.
What do you see as the benefits of the differences, the contrast of working out hard, lifting and strength training, and then coming to the studio?
So lifting weights, being strength training is certainly a necessary. It's necessary. It's something that definitely has to be done. Something that I'm trying to help the women understand, that we got to lift, not necessarily too heavy, but we got to lift to keep a hold to our muscle mass to support our bones. So we need that. Now, in terms of the guys, some girls, they go all the way in. Particularly our competition, our competitors, the ones that compete among each other for weightlifting competitions and things like that. And if you notice, they're really tend to be really buff. They even hold their arms into the body because they can't straighten it out because their muscles are just so tight. They've tore and build those muscles to where they've not. And when I see true bodybuilders who compete, they won't come for me at all. They'll come after a competition so that I can stretch them out and get them feel, because that has to be the most uncomfortable thing to always that they can't even extend their arms down to the side of the body.
Swole for no reason.
And they're really wanting to project or really show the volume in the muscle, and that is with the muscle kind of contracted up on his fibers. And so those people tend not to come in for recovery. They don't look for any stretching. They don't look for that. They will come. There's some that will come after for the relief. Now they're really generally not totally in tune to their core, so they do want to use their muscles to do the work, while we're into bringing all the work through the core. Let every initial movement occur in the core, while they're so used to snatching and pulling and fast and the things that they do in gym are all the things and so we're that's a hard conversion for them. It's a hard conversion for them, while they could still use those same tools that we teach them in Pilates to lift weights, lift through your core, less likely of injury and all the things. So it definitely has a place. Strength definitely have a place, but flexibility does as well.
Yes.
I think flexibility I don't know if I'm biased or not, but flexibility just seems to give that longevity we talked about.
Yes.
Just tends to give that more functional position for the body. So I lean into flexibility more than strength, but they both have a really important role in our body wellness.
Because it seems too that you are definitely, if not more prone, but it's easier to pull,
for sure.
strain something because
or if you
just something simple.
Yeah, it's like walking down the street and there's a pothole and you catch yourself and you got to extend that muscle. Now you ripped
muscles
it and you tore it or whatever to catch your balance, because balance is a part of the core as well. It lives in the core as well. So the flexibility definitely is important. Now strength does have its place, and I'm not discounting it at all.
Yes.
But flexibility is something that I like to lean into because it has the ability for longevity, but you do need that strength to support the bones.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's like you said, that's something I've learned too, how important muscle mass is. So not the bulk, but just to maintain your muscles. So now I'm talking about Pilates and stretch. We know yoga is also pretty popular right now. So how would you describe the difference in which do you feel is a better treatment over the other?
I think that well, first of all, when people ask me that, which they do, I always kind of label it like, well, Pilates is yoga's first cousin. And it has some of the similar comparatives. It has some of the same kind of components involved. The movement is slow. The stretch is what you're getting here. Pilates does a lot more description, I think. I think a lot more describing how you should feel in this move, how you should breathe in this move. I mean, yoga does too. Yoga has a meditative component to it too, where Pilates doesn't. Having the stretch component, having the components of breathing, both is all about breath work. We got to have breath involved in order to get the move in. So I think those are the comparisons and the differences between the two.
Yeah. We've learned about breathing during exercise, and I know, like I said,
the importance
of it, right, to get you through it, right.
Yeah. Get more.
Yeah, we talk about it being the vehicle to get you there.
Yeah.
So that's your vehicle.
Yeah.
In addition to your 3 studios, you have a mobile component to your business.
Nice.
So you can bring all your wonderful work to wherever you are.
That's right. If it has the space, I'll go. So our mobile unit, we launched it last year, about October of last year. We have a lady on the side, on the reformer. Her name is Cora, like the core. Cora. And that's what we named her, Cora. And so that. Cora is our little lady that does all the presentations. So we really wanted to be a billboard to show, what we're doing and where we are and all the things, and it has definitely captured a lot of eyes. We get a lot of DMs on our Instagram saying, I saw y'all going down 20. So that's exactly what we were looking for. One of the other things we do with that mobile unit, not just show up in parks and spaces that we roll out the machines and do. We have bar on there, so you can do bar inside of the unit.
Nice.
Yeah, we have the actual side of the unit. It comes down into a stage, and so the instructor can stand on the stage, and we have the reformers we roll off and put them around the stage. So she teaches from the stage. We've also have done cycling, where we rolled out the bikes off the back of it and did a cycle class. So we're just not just Pilates, but one of our other projects that we've done that we do with this is we use that mobile unit to kind of test the market. So we do a lot of pop-ups in areas that don't, like we talked about, that doesn't have the accessibility to Pilates. We go into into spaces like we did some in Conyers. And that's how we learned that Conyers needed us or wanted us, because we did pop-ups there and they came for
nice.
us. So it kind of works as a market researcher piece
Yeah.
that we can say, let's try it out in blah, blah, blah area.
Yeah.
We're having a pop-up, meet us there. And here they are. They're showing up. They're ready to go. So that it works as a marketing tool as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that gets you set up to consider your next location.
Exactly.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Genius. Come on, Harriet. Paving the way.
I'm Harriet. Call me Harriet.
Yes.
So with all of your work and your busy life serving the communities, what do you have going on personally?
At
I
home?
know you. I know you're a mom.
Yeah, I have one daughter. She's 22. She just graduated this year from Tuskegee University. I'm super proud of her.
Nice.
She's
Congratulations.
accounting and finance major, and she went back to Tuskegee to do her graduate work there in cybersecurity. So I'm super proud of her.
Okay,
She's
yeah.
she's a
Very
nail
nice.
tech. She learned how to do nails back in the pandemics, and she's really has blossomed in that
Yes.
area. So I've always preached to her that you gotta have a hustle. Like
Yeah.
you gotta have something that if everything shut down, people gonna get their nails done.
Right.
They're gonna do something. You gotta
Right.
find that niche, and she found it. She
Yeah.
found nails, and she's amazing.
She is.
She
Good
does
for
really
her.
good. She's now doing Phaedra's Parks nails. So she's a
Oh,
housewife
okay.
nail lady now. So yeah, she comes all the way from Tuskegee to take care of her
Get
girl
out
Phaedra
here.
and
All right
all
now.
the girls.
Build that
mhm.
clientele.
That's right.
That's
So-
yeah.
So yeah,
That's what's
so
up.
from that I just kind of nurtured her. But the only thing I kind of regret about her doing nails is that she never had a 9 to 5. Like she never clocked in at McDonald's. She's never clocked in.
Yeah.
And even though she does really well, she's real, really particular about her books and things like that, all the things. But I just think like she could have had. Now I feel like maybe after grad school she may go into work that clocks her in, but she's never clocked in before, and I'm just like, I don't know if I like that.
So what, as far as
Right.
missing, you think she's missing like the discipline?
No, because her
of
discipline is
reporting?
there. She's a tennis. She played tennis for Tuskegee.
Okay.
So tennis players are really strategical. They're very
Structured,
Yeah, they're
like-
really structured, and they're taught in such a real. She was playing tennis from the time she was like 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so she really had that whole strategic thing down. She played chess because they teach you chess when you learn tennis too.
Oh.
So discipline and things like that was never an issue. It's just that I think it is that she has a salon. She has a nail room in one
Like
of the
a
studios,
suite.
like a suite inside of one of Stretch ATL studios.
Nice.
And now she doesn't understand. Like people pay booth rent when they have it. Like she
Oh.
so I'm like,
Oh, that part.
That part. Like she just like she told me before she went away to college. She was like, "Well, Mom, I found a way. I'm gonna rent out my space to one of my friends who does nails at Stretch." And I'm like, and she's like, "And I'll just collect the rent directly from her."
You said that's my money.
Wait a minute. First of all, who won't be bothered with your little friend? First of all. Second of all, how you go charge rent sublease and you ain't even got no lease? And collect rent. Tomorrow I collect the rent. But yeah, but she got
You
all
gotta
that.
respect the
Right, the
hustle.
hustle, but she got a small little piece. Like people pay rent, you know.
Right.
But she got the whole concept. She got it all down
Got
packed,
you.
and I'm very, very, very proud of her.
Good, good.
Then I have a significant other. His name is Aaron, and he is so good to me. He's the power behind Pilates for me. He's the power behind moving those machines, getting those machines fixed, pulling that trailer, because I'm not pulling that mobile unit.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the power behind all that. So he fixed all the
Awesome.
things. He get it there. He's very timely. He's really military, so he's on time. He gonna get it done, and he gonna get it. He ain't gonna do it if it ain't gonna get done right. So he's the power behind. He's the power source behind all of this.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Aaron.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, that's my
Beautiful when you have a good partner,
Good supporting partner.
Supporting
Super
part-
supportive.
supportive.
Yeah,
Yes,
super supportive.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I've also take care of my dad. Slightly, he's kind of reaching up onto a little bit of dementia. He's 85, and he's my road dog, so he is everywhere with me. He's here with me today.
Nice.
So wherever I go, so when I'm out of Conyers, there's dad's with me. So
That's a
yeah, so
blessing.
yeah, he's my power financial power, because he's always been that guy
Yeah.
that took care of things, and
Yes.
whenever we needed anything, he was the source. So yeah,
That's
that's
beautiful.
my guy.
One, a blessing to have him.
Right.
Yes.
I was
And
explaining
to be in a
someone-
position
yeah,
that you can
yeah,
care for him.
exactly,
So that's
because there's
awesome.
some that can't.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just telling someone the other day that I read an article that says that I'm a sandwich. Anybody who has kids that's not quite out of the house full time, full-fledged adulthood,
Right.
and they still have that one foot in the house, and then now you're taking care of your parents,
Yeah.
you're considered a sandwich.
Oh, wow.
That's the new name for the people like
Okay.
this. So I'm a sandwich, y'all.
You're
All
saying-
right. Okay.
Well, good.
Yes.
We love that. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tanya, for being here. And before we let you go, you've definitely given us so much amazing information. And we commend you for the work that you're doing because, you know, outside of just the business that you enjoy, like you're helping people in the community. So
Yes.
that is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we let you go, though, we have a segment called Mirror Talk, which is basically you holding a mirror to yourself and talking, you know, to yourself. And we're going to take you to the past first and say, what is the one thing that your younger self needed to hear that you now understand?
Oh, that's nice. I like that, y'all. I like that. Make you a little reflect. You really
Yeah,
reflect with this
reflective.
mirror.
Yeah.
I get this. Okay. I see where y'all go with that.
Thank you.
You know, the drive or the chase for money is not necessary. Live off the passion, and the passion will bring you what you need. And so I just drive off the passions. I think the work that I do could not be done if it wasn't my passion. Yeah, and the passion is for my people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And I do hear, you know, people say when you work in your passion, everything else is going to follow.
Absolutely.
But it's rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's rewarding.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I see some of my mentees and some of the instructors, young, me being where they were, just chasing the money. I need to get this. I need to go. You literally do what you do and do the best that you know you can do in your ability to do it, and the rest will come. The
Yeah.
rest will follow.
Yeah, because you do see people that are not fulfilled.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
they
for
have
sure.
work careers, they have
Yes.
these titles, making all this money.
Right.
But at the end of it, they were never fulfilled.
Right.
They just made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. And that, and then God forbid they didn't neglect their health, because now they got to spend their money on their health.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing that you
Absolutely.
taking care of your body while making the money. You got to do it, because you'll spend all the money that you earn on getting your health,
That's
and you
right.
can't fake health.
Yep.
You
Because
can't
once
be-
the health is going, that's
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 it.
it.
the
That's
money
it.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
then.
matter
That's
anymore.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
The
That's
health
right.
becomes the priority.
100%.
And it could be in a blink of an eye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
So yeah. So
Very true.
passion is my drive.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, and then looking into the future, what would you unapologetically claim for yourself?
Confidence in me. Like I don't know if I didn't bet on me before. You know, I betted on things and other people around me, but I bet on me now, and I do that unapologetically. I bet on me.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, it's something about this age and stage of life.
Like, girl, I don't care.
Like
that don't matter to me.
Yeah, that's so freeing and so liberating
Yes.
and so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
It
just like
feels good.
it
Yes.
does.
Yeah, it's just you stop worrying about the things that don't matter.
Yes.
Even when you feel like, because it's times in business, it's times you take a loss, you take a hit, but if you don't look at it like a loss, because I feel like some things that I feel or what someone would view as it really is a lesson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like my granddaddy would say, they learned me. I won't do that no more. They learned me. Yeah, so yeah, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's a lesson.
Yep. And when they doing something wrong, that'll learn you.
Yeah, that'll learn you.
That'll learn
That'll
you.
learn you. So yeah, and it's just real peaceful, just not letting things ruffle your feathers. And it's almost become to be an instilled portion of you, because you don't even have to talk yourself. I don't have to talk myself off the edge no more. Like it's very rare, very, very rare. I'm like, Tanya, calm down. Like, I ain't even going to the edge. Yeah. I'm not even going to the ledge, so I don't care enough to go to the
That's
ledge.
right.
Exactly.
That's
I
right.
got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yes,
We don't have time for
I
that.
ain't got time for that.
That's
Yes, and not caring about what other people say, what other people think, that kind of stuff behind you.
Yes,
Behind you.
it is. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, ladies, for
Tanya.
having me. I really
appreciate
enjoyed being
you.
on your show.
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Yes.
it's been awesome. And so we are proud of you. We are so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
it's there's like this inner cheering you on
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
sidelines. Like, yes, girl,
Yeah.
go get it. Another spike. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
we're proud of you
Thank
and the
you.
work that you do and the service to the community. And so,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you
you.
both. I hear those little voices y'all got in y'all, be rooting me out. I be hearing them.
yeah, girl, be rooting you
I hear
on.
it, girl. I hear it. Yes.
And so, thank you for our guests tuning in to this edition of the Ginger and Honey podcast. And sometimes I'm Ginger.
And sometimes I'm honey, but depending on the day,
It could go either way. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when our new episodes are there and you won't miss it.
That's right. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
See you soon.
Bye.